Well, everyone, the iPhone 7 Plus is one of those iPhones that I probably wouldn't recommend buying anymore this year, but I will tell you, it is still a very decent iPhone for what it was at that moment, and there's actually been lots of movement with this iPhone too, which is pretty insane. Normally with older iPhones like this, you don't really think these things are still getting software support or anything like that, at least with the ones that are unsupported with the mainline version of iOS. But that is not the case anymore. Apple has done a terrific job at continuing to support older iPhones, even when they're technically unsupported with the latest generation of iOS, and the 7 Plus is right there as well. Now, I'm not going to be doing anything crazy in this video. I've already talked to death about this iPhone in particular, but there have been a few things that have changed with this iPhone and some things that are going to be changing with the iPhone lineup in general very soon. On the outside, the 7 Plus still maintains that 5.5-inch IPS panel, still looks pretty good. There's not really a whole lot to complain about here. You have a pretty big bezel at the top, pretty big bezel at the bottom, but otherwise I think Apple did a good job with this design. It's the same old, same old. You have the vibration motor up on the front as that Touch ID sensor, which is awesome. And overall, I think it looks pretty good. You have the lightning port at the bottom, which is great. And on the back, you have, depending on which iPhone of these that you get, you either have the matte finished back, or you have that jet black version. As always, that jet black version of the 7 Plus was amazing. I loved it. I used it personally back in like 2017 or 2018, and I still think it looks very good as of today. There's no wireless charging on this phone, but there is IP certification, which is pretty nice, and a lot of people really need IP certification. So that's something really, really good going on for these iPhones in particular. Now, that kind of covers it up on the outside. Camera-wise, still is pretty good. I don't want to hit on the camera too much because I've already talked about it like crazy, but that dual camera setup, wide and ultra-wide, wide and telephoto lens is pretty good. It still is a decent camera for how old this phone is. And remember, it came out in 2016, but it's not a good camera anymore. It's kind of grainy, and if you're taking videos, the audio quality is not going to be that great. You can definitely tell this is a dated phone for the most part, but that's kind of what happens when you're getting a device like this. Phones like this age, and we tend to get better and better hardware as these types of phones age, so just kind of makes sense. On top of that, you are getting basically no more software updates, which is a kind of a tricky thing to kind of talk about, because on one hand, you're not getting any more software updates, but the craziest thing about this phone is the fact that it is still getting security updates on this device. And that in and of itself is insane. The fact that we got this device as what it was, and it's still getting security updates, even though it's not on iOS 16, is actually insane. And I love seeing that kind of stuff. Having this type of iPhone for what it is, and essentially being able to go ahead and use it as a normal iPhone, is pretty crazy considering that it's still supported with software. And I love seeing that more than anything. So when it comes down to that in and of itself gives me a humongous thumbs up as well. Now, in terms of performance, as I mentioned, definitely not the best performing phone of all time. It's fairly basic when it comes down to it. I mean, you are basically, stuck on that, home button design rather than gesture-based design. And also you're getting, a little bit of an outdated phone. I think we all know this by now. It's outdated with software a little bit too. So very soon, probably in the next 2 years, it's not going to be able to get like actual applications downloaded on it, which could be a huge bummer for some people as well. But I don't know. I kind of look at this phone and I still like it. I think it still has some power inside of it. And I do think Apple kind of ended the lifespan of this phone early. I feel like it could have easily gotten like iOS 16 and even iOS 17 coming out very soon. I feel like it could have very well supported that as well. But I do think that there's time to move on, and you probably should not be buying this type of iPhone in this day and age anymore. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.